While you were sleeping last night, a single announcement from China just handed America the greatest energy victory of the 21st century. A 24% price surge that most people will never hear about, but it's about to reshape everything you thought you knew about who really controls the global economy. Here's what happened. On August 11th, China's largest battery manufacturer quietly suspended operations at a lithium mine that supplies 6% of the world's lithium. Within hours, lithium prices exploded by over 24% in a single month. But here's the thing that makes this story fascinating. This wasn't just another commodity spike. This was the moment America's decade-long strategic chess game finally paid off. Let me paint you the bigger picture. For years, China has controlled roughly 72% of global lithium processing, while the United States managed just 5%. That's the metal that powers every Tesla, every iPhone, every grid storage system, keeping our lights on during peak demand. Essentially, Beijing held a chokehold on the entire clean energy transition. But what most people don't realize is that America has been quietly building the infrastructure to break free from this dependency. And August 2025 just proved the strategy is working. The mine that shut down belongs to CATL, the world's biggest battery manufacturer. Their facility in Jiangxi province produces about 65,000 tons of lithium carbonate annually. When their mining license expired on August 9th, they had to halt operations for at least 3 months while navigating China's increasingly complex regulatory environment. The market response was immediate and brutal. Lithium futures hit daily trading limits, jumping 8% in a single session. But here's where it gets interesting. The price movement was heavily amplified by speculation on Chinese commodity exchanges, creating exactly the kind of volatility that benefits countries with stable domestic production. Now, let's talk about timing, because this is where America's energy coup becomes clear. Just 4 months before this Chinese supply disruption, Lithium Americas reached a final investment decision for the Thacker Pass project in Nevada. This isn't just any lithium mine. We're talking about the largest known lithium deposit in the United States, potentially one of the largest globally. With an 85-year mine life and the capacity to supply 25% of current global lithium demand at full production, this single project could fundamentally alter who controls the lithium market. The Department of Energy committed $2 billion in loans to jumpstart the Thacker Pass project, powered by U.S. workers and technology. For years, China has leveraged its dominance in lithium to wield geopolitical influence around the world. But now that U.S. production is on track to surpass China, that chokehold is about to be broken. The goal is not just to replace dependency on China, but to establish a stable supply chain that can meet the exploding demand for electric vehicles. This is about national security, industrial policy, and geopolitics. The U.S. is seriously challenging China's dominance in the key areas of clean energy. $26 billion in loan financing, while General Motors invested $650 million for exclusive access to the first phase of production. That's enough lithium carbonate to power approximately 800,000 electric vehicles annually. But Thacker Pass is just the beginning. ExxonMobil has secured lithium mining rights and plans to begin production by 2027, targeting enough lithium by 2030 to support over 1 million electric vehicles annually. Chevron announced its entry into the U.S. lithium market in June, acquiring 125,000 acres in the lithium-rich Smackover Formation across Texas and Arkansas. This corporate mobilization represents a dramatic shift from the previous decade, when American companies largely abandoned lithium development to foreign competitors. The combination of Biden's industrial policies and Trump's renewed focus on critical minerals created an investment environment that private capital quickly embraced. The Defense Production Act has been invoked for lithium, treating it as a matter of national security rather than just another commodity. But here's what makes this particularly strategic. America's approach focuses heavily on technological innovation. While China relies primarily on traditional evaporation pond methods that take 12 to 18 months to produce lithium carbonate, American companies are pioneering direct lithium extraction technology. These DLE methods can extract lithium in hours or days while using significantly less water. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that DLE could unlock 70% of global lithium reserves, with commercial-scale projects expected to supply 13% of global lithium by 2030. The geopolitical implications extend far beyond just supply chains. China's recent export restrictions on battery cathode material technology, implemented in July 2025, were intended to maintain their technological advantage. Instead, these measures inadvertently supported American strategic objectives by reducing competitive pressure on domestic projects. When you restrict technology exports, you create opportunities for alternative technological development, which is exactly what American companies have been pursuing. The traditional lithium triangle of Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina has experienced significant political instability, creating additional uncertainty in global supply chains. Bolivia's president has explicitly accused foreign interests of orchestrating destabilization efforts to gain access to the country's vast lithium wealth. This political volatility benefits countries with stable production environments and reliable regulatory frameworks. Let's put some numbers on this transformation. Current projections suggest U.S. lithium production could meet more than 20% of global demand outside of China by 2030, compared to just 5% in 2021. The International Energy Agency forecasts lithium demand will grow from 1.2 million metric tons in 2024 to more than 3 million metric tons by 2030. American projects currently under development could capture a significant portion of this growing market while enhancing national security. The Department of Defense faces restrictions under the 2024 National Defense Authorization Act, which prohibits procurement of batteries containing Chinese-sourced materials beginning in October 2027. This deadline has created urgent demand for domestic lithium supply chains, providing additional market support for American projects. The Foundation for Defensive Democracies has warned that China's control over battery supply chains represents a significant threat to U.S. national security, describing batteries as the bullets of the future. What's particularly interesting about the August price surge is how it revealed the market's recognition that structural changes are underway. Unlike previous lithium rallies, driven primarily by demand growth, this surge was supply-driven and heavily influenced by speculation. The trading volumes on futures exchanges far exceeded the physical market size, indicating that investors are positioning for a fundamental shift in supply dynamics rather than just responding to temporary shortages. Battery recycling represents another strategic advantage for American companies. Recycling can provide faster and more cost-effective access to lithium than traditional mining, while reducing environmental impact. Companies like American Battery Technology Company and Serba Solutions are positioning battery recycling as a strategic complement to domestic mining, providing rapid access to critical materials as global EV adoption accelerates. The convergence of corporate investment, government policy, and technological innovation suggests that America's lithium strategy extends far beyond just reducing import dependence. The United States is positioning itself to become a major lithium exporter just as global demand is expected to triple by 2030. This timing could generate substantial economic returns while fundamentally altering global power dynamics in the critical minerals sector. China's current dominance in lithium processing, while significant, may prove less durable than previously assumed if the United States successfully develops alternative supply chains. The combination of abundant domestic reserves, favorable policy environment, technological innovation, and corporate investment suggests that August's 24% lithium price surge was not merely a supply disruption, but the market's recognition that the global lithium landscape is undergoing permanent structural change. So here's the question that should keep policymakers and investors awake at night. If a single mine closure in China can trigger such dramatic price movements, what happens when American production comes online at scale? Are we witnessing the beginning of a fundamental shift in global energy independence? Or will China's technological and processing advantages prove too entrenched to overcome? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this story is far from over, and the implications will shape American energy policy for decades to come.